This is the first interview of an entire series that I'm going to do with inspiring people about inspiring topics and to hopefully inspire you as the reader or watcher of this video. And hopefully this will inspire you to be happy being you. So a lot of inspiration going on, and that definitely says a lot about the first guest we have on here. His name is Jasper, but that's something that we might discuss in a minute. He's as Dutch as they come, though he doesn't look that way, and he's been a friend of mine for about 17 years, which is a very long time. And he's made quite a transformation, and I figured that that's a very fun story to be told. So here it goes. Jasper, or Gian. Maybe it's good to start there.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name? What's your story?
What's my name and what's my story?
Yeah.
17 years. Wow, that's already pretty amazing, huh? Yeah, very good. So you started to know me as Jasper Kok. And I also have a kind of a spiritual name, that's how we call it, Guru Gian. But I listen to both. It's not that once I started to use my Guru Gian name, that I don't use my Jasper name. Although if I am in my yoga scene, when I give trainings with my fellows, I rather use Guru Gian. That feels more natural, but if I'm with my families, it absolutely feels more natural to say Jasper. It makes it easier for them. And I'm not so attached to my name anyhow. So for me, I use it. So.
Okay, cool. So we cleared that up.
We cleared it up.
Major attachments to the names. It's just a name, not your identity necessarily.
Yes, although I was very... it was not so easy to start a second name. I don't know if you want to really immediately go there.
Why not?
I mean, because you don't know which name you will get, you will receive. So when I was asking for this spiritual name, I really hoped that it was not something with guru in it, because I thought this will become very difficult to use and to explain to other people. So there was quite a challenge. Then I saw the name, I was like, Guru Gian. What to do with it? But the what it meant was really nice. It stands for wise teacher of wisdom. And that's something which I resonate with very much, wisdom. I mean, I practice Kundalini yoga and meditation, which is a kind of a wisdom tradition, a very old yogic tradition. And being part of this tradition is for me is my real family. I mean, I'm extremely grateful for my regular family. I love them, and it's great. But I feel more at home with my spiritual family. So that's one part of the story.
Okay. And what was your hang up with the word guru?
What was my hang? I mean, the word guru is highly charged. I mean, guru, you immediately think of somebody with a beard and a turban, which I now. But at that time, I was not wearing a turban, so at that time it was even. Now it's kind of congruent to use Guru Gian. It's okay, but at that time it was. It was even more challenging because I was not wearing any beard or turban, and then calling yourself a guru. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your life story from where you started and pretty much how you ended up being the guru with the turban.
Well, if I look back, my life starts basically when I was 11 or something like that, because that was the first time in my life where I got into trouble, kind of my physical troubles. So that was basically the age at which my back pain started, and that kind of hunted me all the way. Even when I was studying, it was up and down, up and down. So I studied international business later on. I still had absolutely no clue what to choose. Somebody said once, international business seems nice. I said, okay, I will do it. After that, I had like 1 year being in Amsterdam, searching myself, did not find myself either. After that, I was going for a PhD back into Maastricht. And before that, I was 1 year in Amsterdam. And there in a PhD, it was about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial decisions in a social context. And there, I must say, my promoter, he actually had quite a big role in my development, mainly because he was not there the first 2 years. And he said to me, yeah, just read also outside of the standard literature. And so he gave me kind of permission to be myself, basically, and just to follow my own intuition. And he was also somebody who was always positive. Even when I was handing in work that was absolutely not great, he was always looking for the positive. And I'm coming from a background where that is from a more critical background, for also in my family, but also school systems, looking at things that are wrong. And I really, but only on hindsight, I realized this has a huge impact on me. He was encouraging me positively, and I really reacted on that. He gave me confidence. So, but I was absolutely not interested in the subject anymore. I was more interested in Eastern philosophy, neuroscience, all these consciousness. I was reading a lot about that, having some shamanic experience with a girlfriend that I had at these times. So really opening myself up to a broader view. But I knew, for me, it's important to finish this PhD. Just for the perseverance, and it's good to complete things. So that's what I did. But at these times, at the end of my PhD, I had a lot of back problems because I was doing things that I really didn't like. I realized later on. And for me to get out of that, I was going out for 4 evenings a week just to release the tension of not doing that what you like. And a lot of back problems. And there was also an incident with my brother. But in the end, somebody said to me, why don't you join me for a yoga class? And I was the stiffest person in the world. I mean, I was in my head always. My body, I had no connection with since I was even before 11. So I was extremely stiff. So it was very, very, very challenging for me doing yoga class. But the first class was immediately a Kundalini yoga class. I immediately felt, okay, there is something in this for me. It was a very low profile yoga teacher who came in his jeans, very cool guy with a big car, and it was really fun. So that kept me in there. And then when I finished my PhD, I had something like 1 or 2 years of yoga experience. Then I moved to Amsterdam. And there I became an economic advisor for the city of Amsterdam, where, I don't know how you call it, wethouder in English?
Well, an important government city council person.
Exactly. Lodewijk Asscher, who is now the vice prime minister. But I don't know this technical term. And he had the same quality as my promoter, always looking for the positive. It's a recurring theme. And I worked for them when the financial crisis was there. I was in the crisis team, advising Lodewijk Asscher, Job Cohen. It was a very nice time. And it was also the time when I started to practice real yoga. And because that's a huge difference.
And what does real yoga mean?
Thanks for asking that question. Well, real yoga for me means a serious daily practice of yoga and meditation. Because yoga means to unite. And in order to unite, because there's so many forces wanting you to be separate, it's not so easy to be one. And you need quite a strong practice for that.
Okay, what do you mean with what is forcing us to be separate? Can you give examples of that?
I mean, you are Linda, I am Jasper. We're separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at least we have the illusion that we are separate. We grown up, you get a name, you get an identity, this is who you are, and so on and so on. So, I mean, you have an image of 30 years being you. But it's basically what society and parents and all other kind of influences created of you. There's not so much authenticity at that point, I would say. For myself, speaking for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was my brother, which I really helped in a Kundalini crisis, but he was also practicing Kundalini yoga. He said, come on, join me once for this early morning sadhana, this 2.5 hours practice of yoga and meditation in the morning.
I think actually, when we reconnected in Amsterdam, you had just started that for 1 or 2 days.
Yes.
That was the first time I saw you in a couple of years.
Exactly. And I remember that time that we had dinner, because I was not drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah, because when we first met 17 years ago, we would be going out to these crazy work events, like big parties and galas and things. We would work there, and then afterwards we would go out and party. And I remember so well that we would be standing on the side of the dance floor, just drinking beer and laughing at everybody there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Life changes, doesn't it?
Exactly. So that was when I started. So my brother tried to inspire me to join, but every because it's from 4:30 in the morning till 7. So every morning at 4 a.m. when my alarm clock rang, I just snoozed it and did not allow it. So after 4 or 5 times, he said, tomorrow there starts a 40-day early morning challenge. Every day they do it, and we're gonna do it. I said, okay, this feels like a real challenge. I go for it. So the next morning I did wake up, and we done that 40 days. And after 2 weeks doing this morning practice, I really felt, okay, this can really change my life. This can heal all my problems and give me so much more. It was such a very strong feeling that, okay, this is what I have to do, or this is what I want to do. And so basically I never stopped with daily practicing. And I believe I now practice daily for 10 years. And so I in 2009, I quit my job at the city of Amsterdam, and I started traveling in India to develop myself even further into this beautiful world of yoga and meditation. And when I came back, I was just planning to because I was at your place then in Haarlem, I was just planning to remain there for like a month or 2 when I met my girlfriend. We've been to the yoga festival together. After that, she became pregnant. So the universe decided, Guru Gian, you stay in the Netherlands. So this is what I did. And started to, because I had said to myself, whenever I come back, I will only do yoga and meditation. I will not go back in old jobs, whatever it will take. So that was a lot, whatever it takes, because I had only 1 or 2 classes and seeing only 1 or 2 people. Because I started out as the stiffest yogi of Amsterdam. So I did not have a very high esteem about myself as a yogi.
Yeah, I remember you being really frustrated that you couldn't touch your toes.
Exactly.
That was a big thing for you.
It was a very big thing. And I remember saying to myself, whenever I manage to touch my toes, I will become a teacher. So one day I touched my toes and thought, gee, now I have to become a teacher, but I still don't feel ready. Have all these kind of milestones and hoping that once you achieve that, then there will be no more
then life will fall into
uncertainty.
place and there's only harmony and happiness.
And only bliss and only confidence. Well, thank God I've learned. and now, but now I basically I live my my life fully with yoga, teaching classes, having my own trainings, retreats in the Netherlands and abroad. So I'm very, very, very happy and grateful to do what I love to do. And not that it's not challenging. It's still very challenging in all kinds of respects, but I've had so many experiences and I gained so much faith and trust in the universe guiding me, inspiring me, that gives me a very strong base in life. I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
And given that, and given your background, and given your current challenges and gratefulness, how is it to be you?
Oh, wonderful. Really wonderful. But the question is, who am I? Because the moment I am really me, awareness, consciousness, I feel great. When I'm talking to you, sharing, I feel wonderful. I'm just in this flow of energy and consciousness. Waheguru, this is the best state to be in. When I teach, it's wonderful. Because then at that time I don't feel separate. And so, yeah, that's just a wonderful feeling. It feels so natural, and it's and it's really funny because I never felt that when I was young. I always felt blocked, isolated, and now I feel open and connected. So that's and that's just wonderful. That's the only word I can say. It's wonderful. It's still challenging because to maintain that state requires some discipline and some work. And I mean, I keep on growing. New challenges come up. I have to face, and then but I like it. I love it. I would not do anything else in the world.
Do you ever feel disconnected right now? I mean, if the discipline doesn't hold up, or if something happens and where you sort of get separated from that connection with yourself?
Of course. During the day, sometimes when I enter a state of worry, where I think, oh my God, I have so many things to do, then in a way I'm disconnected because I'm not in the here and now. But that never lasts longer than a day, because I never miss a day of yoga and meditation. So, and the intensity differs. I mean, sometimes I do it for 2.5 hours in the morning, sometimes 45 minutes or 1 hour or 1.5 hours. The longer I do it, the less resistance I feel, and the less I feel more connected. So I have a very strong incentive to practice, because the practice helps me to access that state. So to keep my ego, my borders, away, to keep myself clean and open. Yeah.
I'm curious because you teach as well, of course, and you meet a lot of people that might not be as connected as you are. I personally, I mean, I can't say that I'm always connected, because I'm not a lot of the time.
No.
And I'm happy to find my way back.
Sure.
Sooner, hopefully, than I used to. But I personally struggle when I see someone who's obviously very willing to connect, but he's just not there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, of course I mean. Yeah.
I sort of want to take on that struggle for that person, because that's sort of the helper role that I then take on. And I'm just curious how that is for you as a teacher.
Yeah. I, I I love helping people, but I'm very good in forgetting.
Mm.
So, but I don't know. I don't. You take it on you, or what do you do? Or you don't know what you do with it.
Sometimes it depends. No, it really depends. If I'm indeed in that neutral state of mind, if I'm happy with where I
Yeah.
am and what
Yeah.
I'm doing, whatever that I may be, indeed,
Yes.
then things just flow, and the most horrible things can happen to me, and I can
Yeah.
just sort of observe them and deal with them as they are. But they
Yes.
don't sort of cling to me and become me. I don't
Exactly.
become that pain or whatever it
Exactly.
is. But then there are lots of times, and that's part of, for me at least, the transformation, the continuous
Mm.
transformation, the growth
Mm.
of me as a human being, or
Mm-hmm.
me as a spiritual being having this human experience.
Very good.
Sometimes things do cling to me,
Yeah.
and I do realize that then that, oh, okay, that's probably then a lesson that I need to learn, but it does sort of wipe me out sometimes.
Yeah. And maybe it's also because I'm a man and you're a woman. Women are. I see that with my girlfriend. I mean, men can disconnect. They live in boxes. Now
Yeah.
I'm yoga teacher, the coach, and now the rest of my day starts. And for women, everything is connected.
Yeah,
I
I love
mean,
that story where men always have that empty box where they can go
yes,
to. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah. We
yes.
don't have that. No, it's a
No,
major spaghetti brain and heart thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's probably not only just developing the neutral mind, although I believe that will help. But it's also, yeah, just being different.
yeah, yeah. Um, Speaking of being different, it's a nice segue. The turban and the beard. I
Yes.
mean, when I met you, you were just this clean-faced boy, normal looking, and now you wear a turban and you
Mm.
have a beard. And I remember going to the supermarket one time, and people were just pointing at you and calling you Jesus and Joseph and Moses and whatever,
Oh,
which I thought was
that's the
pretty
nice
funny.
one, huh?
Yeah, you must
The
get
Osama
worse.
bin Laden's.
Oh yeah.
I prefer the Jesus and the.
But how has that been, that transformation? Because
Mm.
your family and your friends, they must have thought something. They may have had
Mm.
opinions. How did you deal with that?
I mean, yeah, that was quite a challenging thing, I must say. It took me years. And it went step by step. So in the beginning, I was just wearing the turban when I was teaching class. And then when I did so much yoga and meditation, I once went to the hairdresser, and I felt so much after my hair was cut. I lost so much energy through the cutting. I said to myself, I will never cut my hair again. And that's 10 years ago, so you can imagine how long my hair is right now. And so the hair started to grow longer. My colleagues looking at me, and I didn't feel so comfortable with that, because I never wanted to be in the picture or something like that. I just tried to. I absolutely don't want to stand out. My brother he would wear this for fun, but I want to be I wanted to always be as normal as I can, but I felt from the inside, no, I really want this. And then I once went to a men's week in the French Alps, and then I didn't shave me, and it felt so good. I thought, okay, I keep my beard as well. And so that went very natural. And I think 2 years later, I felt inside so strongly, I really want to wear a turban. My ego absolutely did not want it. It was no way. But you have the inner feeling was so strong that I wanted it. Nobody ever told me to wear a turban or something. But I just, from the inside, I felt it so strongly. This is who I am. I want this. So I did it, and the first 2 years were horrible. I had the feeling everybody was looking at me, and they were, because I was absolutely not comfortable with it. And nowadays, I don't have the feeling anyone is looking at me. Often people just think I'm from India, but on the other hand, because fully okay with it. I just love myself the way I am at it. So, I still feel normal. But in the beginning, it was really difficult. I wanted it to hide. I didn't want to show. I want to make it smaller than it was. And it was a huge process. And going through that process also taught me wonderful lessons. I mean, about being authentic and staying connected to my own feelings and my own desires. So it was a great lesson. Not
So
easy.
you say that the beard and the hair, that's all about retaining the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Why the turban then? I mean, I know, but
Yeah. I mean, there are all kind of pressure points. And I always say to people that when I teach in for example for doctors or whatever, I said, if you just try this for 40 days, you will never want something else. But they don't. It feels so good. It feels so good. I mean, your thoughts go slower and the energy stays more. I mean, this area is very sensitive around the head, and if that gets disturbed, your thinking gets disturbed, and if this gets contained, you get contained.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same with the beard. There is a moon point, female energy point. Women have 13. That's why they fluctuate more than men. And men only have 1 in the center of their chin. And it really helps you to, and now the beard is over it, it creates more stability. And this is wonderful, especially when you have a relationship.
Does it, because it helps you balance?
It helps to balance.
Yeah.
And to not react and to stay neutral. So, yeah.
And in how far is your way of life, the yoga, the turban, everything, how far is it connected to religion?
For me personally, 100% or 0%, depending on your definition of religion. For me, it's 0% being part of an institutionalized religion, but religion also being one. In that sense, it helps me, it supports me, it's a technical support to remain in this state of oneness. But for me, it's not religious, because when I go swim, I take it off, and maybe half a day in a week I turn it off just to give my hair something to be. So I'm absolutely not fanatic in these kind of things. I mean, no, I just it has become part of my new identity. So yeah, but for me it's not religion. But a lot of time religious people come to me because they think I'm part of their religion.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's okay.
The conversion thing or the missionary thing. I remember when I started doing yoga, it was like this whole new world, this whole new niche to me opened up of people and techniques that got me and that helped me so much. And I started preaching it. So pretty much everyone I came across who said, oh, my back is hurting. I said, oh, go do yoga. And this is going on. Oh, go and do yoga. And I mean, it took me quite a while to sort of step away from that and respect everyone's process in itself, and know that whatever my path is not necessarily, it does not necessarily has to be anyone else's. How has that been for you?
Well, basically the same. I think we all go to a kind of a preacher phase. I mean, because you like something so much, it becomes your whole world. You cannot not talk about it. And you believe it's the only thing that can help people. So you're just, yeah. So, and I mean, it's like a child. When they're really excited about something, they want to go for this. So it's a phase, and it's important to let it go after a while. If your heart opens more and more, the perspective broadens, it just disappears, because you start, at least I started to realize it's not about yoga and meditation and all these kind of things. It's just to be there for people, to have compassion for wherever they are, and to see how I can help them where they are, not where I am. So yeah, and that's why I believe I changed more from a Kundalini yoga teacher to a Kundalini yoga coach. Because as a teacher, you say, okay, this is the way.
Mm.
And as a coach, I'm asking questions. What is your way? Tell me about your way. I want to know. I think it's interesting. And in that way, their own path evolves. And maybe they are inspired to do some yoga and meditation. This is fine. But letting everybody's own true nature evolve is the most beautiful thing. That's why I consider myself more as a Kundalini yoga coach than a Kundalini yoga teacher in that respect. Okay.
What's for you the one thing you could recommend anyone trying to be or live a happier, healthier life, given that they might not want to go into the hardcore yoga meditation lifestyle that you perhaps did? So what's something simple that they can add to their way of life?
Well, it sounds simple, but it's not so simple. It is to develop a relationship with your mind, with your thinking and feelings and what's going on. And that can be meditation, that can be reflection, that can be group work, it can be anything, but develop a relationship with your mind. For me, that's the key, because the mind can take you to heaven and can take you to hell. And not having a relationship with such a thing which is so powerful and you just let it run loose, it will give you trouble. And so just mind should, and that's something I really learned, our mind should serve us, or authenticity or being, and not control us. And we live in a world where the mind controls us. So anything that develops a relationship with your mind would be wonderful. And
can you get a little bit more concrete? What does a relationship with your mind look like? What does that mean on a daily basis? How do you communicate with your mind, for example?
I communicate with my mind when I meditate. When I meditate, I go through the phase, okay, the things I don't like or the things that still bothering me, and then they disappear during the meditation, and then I feel myself. And in myself, I'm happy, joyful. So that's my way to be in contact with my mind, is through meditation. And it can be just sitting still for 3 minutes, just breathing long and deep.
Yeah.
But it can also be asking a question like, what do I appreciate about myself? Because then I also develop a relationship with my mind, because my mind gives me the answers. And it all starts with first recognizing indeed the person in the mirror. It starts there, because I when I started, I mean, it relates back to the beginning of my story. I didn't have a relationship with my body or with myself or with the person in the mirror. I mean, first I had to do that part, and then slowly you go further and further. So basically, where I am now is 15 years of being with the question how it is to be you. It's a nice question. Nice question.
Do you feel that anything's still left unsaid for now?
Well, most important is just relax in who you are, at whichever level you are, because relaxation is very important. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's okay whoever you are and wherever you are. That creates already some space. Yeah. No, I mean, I can continue for hours. You know.
I know. Okay, and if people are interested in you and want to know more, where can they find you?
In the Netherlands, I teach in Amsterdam and in Bergen, and they can, if they check www.gurugian.
I'll provide a link. Yeah.
Thank you very much. gurugian.nl, and there they can find me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so
Cool.
much for this.
I am honored to be on your How It Is to Be You show. I don't know what you call it.
I'm not sure yet. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Nice questions. It was fun too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, salam.